What's up, people? Happy Wednesday. Camari Ellis here. Welcome to another edition of the Finance Rebel Show. As y'all know, every Wednesday we do Wealthy Wednesday. So I'm answering all your money questions live, whether it's about personal finance, taxes, insurance, entrepreneurship, stocks. Everybody wants to talk about stocks these days. I'm here for it. There is no money question that is off limits. But go ahead and throw them on the chat. And as people begin to fill them in the room, I keep forgetting to share this out. What's up, Joe Brown? How you doing, sir? What's new in your world? But it seems like I keep forgetting to share this out. So if you are a friend of mine on social media, please help me share this. Talk about money. All right, I know that's right. But if you're a friend of mine, do me a favor, share this out and tag me in it so I can put it on my own personal timeline, which I keep forgetting to do. I don't know why I keep forgetting to do it, but I don't know. I guess because I've been so busy these days. All right. So as we keep going along, I'll just keep talking about a couple of things as people join in the room, throw their questions in the chat. I'm not staying on here all night with y'all like I normally do. I got about a good hour, maybe an hour and 15 minutes, but that's all I got. That's all I got. Remember, as you come into the room, make sure you check in. Tell me where you checking in from. Tell me what questions you might have. And of course, be hospitable and say your hellos. Be pleasant. All right, let me know y'all in the room. So what y'all got going on? All right, it's Wednesday after Thanksgiving. It's a lot going on. My sister Jody Austin is on. What's up, Jody? How you doing? Welcome. What questions you got for me, Jody? But as we're going on, we're still seeing the stock market run away like crazy. Nobody knows where the market's going to go, but everybody thinks it's going to continue to go up. But as I always say, what goes up must come down at some time. But it's a hell of a ride while you think you're going up. Good, sir. Don Johnson, how are you? Thanks for joining. Welcome. All right, Katissa's in the house from NC, North Kakalaki. All right, how are y'all? You'll think of something? All right. Don't stress yourself. So Joe, you're saying this is a good time to buy IMV? Are you talking about inventory? What is IMV? What is IMV? Steven, the CEO, how are you, sir? How you been? Mrs. Daniels, my Wichita connection is in the building. How you doing, sir? Oh, Monique Dean is here. What's up, Mo? How are you? How you been? So Jody says, I'll be reaching out ASAP for 2021 because I'm 5 years out from retirement. Yeah, now is the time to get your stuff in order. Don't wait till 2021. You need to start now. You are 5 years out. You were on what's called the retirement red zone. So all of your decisions right now are super duper critical. Okay, Joe Brown says, good time to buy investment property. I mean, it's always a good time to buy whatever asset class you're in, right? Whether it's businesses, whether it's real estate, whether it's stock. It just depends on what you can get your price at. And as we all know in real estate, everybody can get their price at different rates, some low, some high. We're actually seeing some smoke go down in Philadelphia right now in regards to wholesalers. So it looks like the city is trying to shut down wholesalers. Trying to shut down wholesalers from getting their cheddar, y'all. It's all good, though. I mean, I don't have a problem with wholesalers. There are some unscrupulous wholesalers, though. Just like anything else, right? You're always going to have some people who are unscrupulous, some people who don't have no common sense, some people who all they want to do is get to their money at the end of the day. So that's always crazy, right? My biggest thing when we see the wholesalers and some of these other scrupulous people is the folks that actually steal deeds or retitle deeds unknowing to the people that actually own it. That's always like one of my biggest concerns, but it's an issue. All right, Miss Edith is in the building. How you doing, Miss Edith? Good evening, Camari. BX in the house. Yes, it is. Uptown, baby. Miss Edith, why is it that people only think of Harlem as being uptown? I know the Bronx is uptown because my family's there, but they only really think about Harlem as being uptown. I'm curious about that. All right, so Monique Dean says, what do you think about purchasing property, Airbnb, internationally? I think it could be a good thing depending upon where you're at, right? Do you have infrastructure there? Meaning, AKA, do you got folks there? Do you have a property manager there that can look after your property? I know a lot of the Airbnbs are can be kind of run virtual because I have some clients that actually own and run the Airbnbs. So, they have the keyless entry, they have the cameras set up. You can let people in, the whole nine. By the way, side note, if you ever want to get a good chuckle, a good laugh, read some of the Airbnb commentary, especially on bad hosts and bad renters. It's hilarious. Brad Models, how are you? Shaw89, how are you? Des.com, what's up, lady? Nicole No, how are you? Kaz587, how are you? It wasn't that. All right, so Stephen CEO says, I see you didn't like my post on FB. It wasn't that I didn't like your post, but I'm going to tell you this. I don't have my rebel shirt on today. I am the finance rebel, but I am truly a rebel, right? So people have been telling us forever. By the way, let me give everybody some context. The context is there was a teenage boy kind of laid on his father's lap, or what appeared to be his father's lap, and the father was hugging him. All right. So with that being said, a lot of people saw it and they felt that the boy was too big to be in his father's arms. However, in the same sentence, many people thought that it would be okay if it was a woman. And I'm like, why do we assign a role, or who assigns the role of who should do what in terms of parenting? And right, a lot of times so I'm gonna just keep it funky with y'all, right? A lot of times we got a lot of black men that are jacked up because they got their ass whooped and they ain't get enough hugs. You can say the same thing about sisters. So what the thought that ran through my mind was why is it okay for a woman to hug their son and not a man to hug their son? Where a lot of times men, right, we get our value from our fathers or either our father figures. So what's so wrong with that? Are we so tied up in what society says? And we know society isn't about us, the boogie down, the brown, the black, the red, whatever you want to label it as. And they want to assign their norms, their culture, their values onto us. Where in actuality, we probably need more hugs than anybody. So it wasn't that I had a problem with it. I just saw it and commented on it. Most times, I'll be honest, you just caught me on a day. I just saw it and I commented. That's all. No harm, no foul. Right. Harlem is okay. So Nicole Knowles says Harlem is uptown Manhattan. The Bronx is a whole different borough. So I've always known that everything going uptown on the train was considered uptown, right? After, I guess, where Harlem starts. Everything above that was considered uptown. But correct me if I'm wrong. We got a little New York battle going on here. But Monique, I think I've finished your question. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with owning it internationally. Make sure you follow all your tax rules and your tax laws for doing business overseas. That's a whole other thing in and of itself. But make sure you do that. But listen, anytime you can own something anywhere and you can keep it up and you can make it income generating, or if you have enough money, you can kind of sit on it and be a land bank, is a good thing. But everybody's situation is different. So, all right. So Joe Brown is on Facebook now. So he says it's a good time to buy investment property. Yeah. As long as it's an investment, right? A lot of us think our personal residence are investments. I'm here to tell y'all, they're not. Yes, they're assets. If we're talking accounting, yes, they would go on the balance sheet under the asset section. But 9 times out of 10, most people really don't do good accounting or bookkeeping of their personal records when it comes to investments. So they don't know. When it comes to maintaining their home. So how many times are you raking leaves, or how much did you pay to rake those leaves? How much did you pay to get those gutters clean? How many little kids, ran by throwing rocks and then broke your window and you had to get it fixed? Like all of those things go into the overall cost. But I say, my opinion is that you shouldn't really worry about your personal residence being a good investment, right? That's the secondary factor. The first thing you should be thinking about, is this a great place to raise my family, to live? Can we create memories? And yeah, if you can make some money on the back end, absolutely. Absolutely. Soft touch anadonics, how are you? Oh, Miss Edith is on IG as well. Hello. Hello 2 times. All right. So listen, y'all, like I said, I forgot to share this out, but you're all watching, you're all listening to the Finance Roll Show. This is our Wealthy Wednesday edition where I answer your money questions live. No money question is wrong. We talk about stocks, taxes, investments, business, entrepreneurship, anything money related. We talk about it here. So do me a favor. If you know anybody that is looking to upgrade or increase their financial IQ, bring them on over here, send them over here, invite them on over here, because y'all know I like to try to make things simple, easy, and fun for everybody to understand. All right. So it looks like Don and Jody got a whole military retirement conversation going on in the chat. So Jody says, hold up. Don't think it's, all right. So yeah, Jody's got to respond back to my comment. Hold up. Don't get it twisted, bro. I've been planning. I want to make sure I ain't missing nothing. All right. I'm just saying. What you waiting on? All right. All right. So I retired from the military already in 2008. Now I'm 5 years out from my government. So Jody balling. She got the military, government, and government retirement. I would love to see what that retirement check looks like. Ethel Richards said, I have no idea Peter Guns made the song. Come on, you from the BX, you're supposed to know this stuff. All right, Gasper 5850, how are you? Philly Main Squeeze, how are you? Welcome. Yo Yan, how are you? Welcome. All right, so what other questions do we have tonight, y'all? What other questions? So what pick do you love, Jody? Which pick? What are we talking about? Jody, nice. I hit military retirement in 5 years. Don is also a Twitter specialist as well. He works for the Finance Rebel, Philly Tax Team, the Black Wealth Project in Fatherhood, along with, not to mention, the Ivy Investor and Tracy Real Estate, along with Malik Carter as well. That's a little inside baseball. If y'all watch any of the shows on Sunday, the Black Wealth Project's on the shows on Sunday. All right. So what questions do we have? If in Soho, the Village, Harlem, and the Bronx is Uptown. Okay. All right. Hey, Tiffany, how you doing? Welcome. Happy Wednesday. Yo, yeah, you must have been on the Black Wealth. Excuse me, you must have been on the Fatherhood. I would say yes. So me and Jimmy already said we're gonna have this debate, right? So Jimmy said some ownership doesn't go through a political process. I would say just about everything goes through a political process. All ownership. And by the way, Jimmy's my bro, right? Fatherhood's my bro. We have these intellectual type conversations, so there is no beef, even though I might say there's beef. All in fun, though. All in fun. Oh, the father and son pick. You like that pick? Yeah, it was a great pick. So yeah, I would say all ownership, right? When you get, so again, context, everybody, and I'm gonna tip my hand because me and Jimmy was when I had this debate on Sunday, but I'll give my hand away a little bit. So my brothers over at Fatherhood, Jimmy and Corey, on their page, on their IG page, we were talking about ownership in the political process. I don't remember the exact post, but basically I said that all ownership goes through a political process. And I'm pretty sure Jimmy was behind the page and he said there are some exceptions to that. And I'm like, where? So I feel that there is no substantial form of ownership, house, car, business, stock, that does not some way, shape, or form touch a political process, right? If we go through your house or your real estate, it touches a deed. A deed is run through the city, right? Or whatever municipality that you're in or state that you're in. And that goes through there. You got to pay transfer tax, recording fees, all kinds of stuff. So that's one way. We're talking about a business. Usually, right, there are some exceptions, but usually you have to have some kind of business license to operate. Even the folks, right? So, Yo Yan, I don't know if you are in Philly or not, right? But if you are in Philly and you operate a business outside of your home, technically you are supposed to have a license. It's called a commercial activities license, right? And you have to pay BIRT, which is, it used to be it used to be BPT. So it used to be business privilege tax, right? Then business privilege tax, and this is for all my Philly people, right? Then business privilege tax, or BPT, then changed to BIRT. So BIRT now stands for business income and revenue tax, or something like that. I might have it confused, right? But that's even having a business, you're supposed to do it. Now, there are some people that don't do it, and I advise them to do it because I'm also an enrolled agent. Been in it. You don't know me, I don't think. So I've been in tax, accounting, investments, financial advising for over 20 years. That's why I don't have no hair. But yeah, I can't think of any ownership, right? Because I said, just pop and fly. I said, I even need a permit to own or I said I need a license to own my Hot Wheel, right? Because if I go buy that Hot Wheel, let's say at a Rite Aid or what used to be Toys R Us, they need a license to open up too. So there's nothing that I can think of. And Jimmy's pretty smart, so I'm sure he got something. He got something in the tuck for me. But there's nothing that I can think of where nothing enters the political process in terms of ownership, in terms of living. A lot of times, and so listen, we family, we Black. A lot of times, Black folks like to say the political process don't work. All right, cool. But the political process touches everything we do, from the time we're born to the time we die. A politician has to sign off on our birth certificate. A politician has to sign off on our death certificate. So it gets some type of hands. There's some type of process whatsoever. Jack, the first three. How you doing, brother? Welcome to Wealthy Wednesdays. Happy Wednesday. Said my live didn't pop up on my feed. I told you I'm fighting the algorithms, y'all. They don't want me to be great, y'all. Y'all gonna let the man win? Y'all gonna help me out. So if you're gonna help me out, like, share, and comment. Like, share, and comment on this video on YouTube, on Facebook, and on Instagram. That's the only way people can find me. Because again, the algorithm, the man got his hand on my neck or got his foot on my neck. They don't want me to be great, man. Jack, the first three, I would disagree with that. The political process doesn't work for poor people because poor people don't work the political process. Now, there's a lot in that, right? I'm not even going to front. A lot of poor people are trying to work and get their daily bread, and I'm not mad at that. But there are plenty of instances where you see people get involved and make things happen. Listen, I'm not going to sit here and say the political process is everything, but it is important. Just like wealth creation is important. But here's the key. And none of these social media gurus or none of these people talking about Black issues ever really talk about this. The key for Black people, like the real key for Black people, is unity. I know that's like way out in left field for a lot of y'all, because a lot of y'all don't even like y'all grandma and y'all nanas. But I'm just being honest, right? We got to figure out a way to put some of our differences behind, to get behind unifying principles that will benefit the entire community. And if we're talking about the U.S., from the U.S. state standpoint, nobody's talking about that, though. We'll talk about reparations, about getting money, but we won't talk about unity. Like the reparations is cool because it's money, but we won't talk about how important it is to be good with our brother and sister, to help them out, to support them. I find it really interesting that we always focus on the money and individualism and never the collectivity or the collectivism, right? And when you look at wealth in the United States and how it was created, it was always through a collective group activity. Banks are what? Y'all have heard me say this before. This ain't new. Brown Girls Invest. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Wednesday. But y'all have heard me say this before. Banks are what? They are a collection of people that put their money into the bank to lend it out. Well, goddamn it, if that ain't group economics, I don't know what is. The Dark Horse, how are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. What is a mutual fund? Anybody know what a mutual fund is? It's when a bunch of people get together to invest. All right. Co-ops. A bunch of people get together and buy something because they usually get a discount because they're buying with more people in power. Hey, Naisha, how you doing? Right. So, again, we'll talk about the money angle, right? Because that's the angle that's kind of been taught to us. We never want to go back to nature. I say a lot of times nature is the real Bible. No diss to nobody. But if God didn't intend it to happen, it wouldn't happen in nature. So forget about those folks, these people, these men and women who like to reinterpret certain things, right? And I get that we are humans and we are at a higher functioning level, but there's some things that still work in tangent with nature. But again, that's why I say the political process, right? So, right, unity is key. Yeah, we can't do nothing without unity, and that's been our problem. But again, like, you got to really understand the nuance. Like, I study this, eat, I live it, I breathe it. Because I don't want to just talk about money, right? I tell you all the time that my father was an accountant. I spent countless hours in his office every day after school. Was always kind of enamored and in all the stock market, just naturally. Nobody just said, hey, Camari, check out the stock market. And then, I never really found tax and accounting exciting because it's not. But what's exciting about tax and accounting is that it will kill your wealth possibilities faster than anything else, except for your stupidity to buy dumb stuff. But when I look at that, right, again, tax and accounting, when I look at stocks, and then when I look at all the other ills of the community, I used to think that the biggest problem the Black community had was the lack of money. And then I started to go out and do teachings with some national insurance companies at major corporations. And I would get to talk to Black folks, and then I would get to talk to Latino people, and then I would get to talk to white people. And when I would talk to them, I would get kind of three different answers. But the starkest difference was between the Black folks and the white folks. And then it occurred to me, the white folks would tell me everything. They would give me all their vital statistics. They might even give me some of their unmentionables if I asked for them. Right, and these are in sessions. When I got to my brothers and sisters, they clamped up. They don't want to tell me nothing. But when you think about it, that's how we're raised. Don't be sharing my secrets. Don't be telling my business. Right? We are trained to do that, and a lot of that training goes back to our enslavement period here, because couldn't give master too much information. Because if you give master too much information, then that shows your weaknesses. Because your enemies prey on your weaknesses. So that's why we are so close to the chest with everything, right? And then when you look at that, and I've talked about this on a lot of our wealthy conversations on Saturday. So listen, every Saturday I do a wealthy conversation as well, and I go over a topic, and that's at noon. But a couple of weeks ago, I talked about the effect of slavery that has been had on Black folks in terms of wealth creation. Right. And so look up a journalist by the name of Michelle Singletary. Michelle Singletary writes for the Washington Post. So listen, y'all ain't got to believe me. Just some numbers do. You can check out the world acclaimed Washington Post and their journalist over there. Black woman sister does her thing, is a phenomenal journalist. All right. Oh, the Ivy Investors in the building. What's up, Courtney? Sherwin, 1906. How are you? And I'm sure that 1906 is referring to something frat related. So shout out to all y'all. All right, but Michelle Singletary writes some great pieces, and she's been writing these pieces called Sincerely Michelle. And she did a wonderful job talking about her grandmother, y'all. Talking about how her grandmother was afraid to invest in the stock market because, one, she had never been able to do it. And then when you go back into history, you can see that Black people weren't allowed to invest in the stock market. There's other books. There's one book called Black Fortune that highlights the six millionaires after slavery, or the 6 Black millionaires after slavery. And they talk about that, and they chronicle that. One of the guys, they're from Philly. Matter of fact, they're outside of Philly in Derby. They had a bus company. And one of the ways they made their money was by investing in the stock market. But how did they do it? They had to go through a white person. The white person was the plug. So they had to go get a white person, hire a white person, and do many things. But many times when you read the history of many successful Black folks, they always figured out a way how to get a white person to kind of do their bidding, because they didn't have a choice. John Johnson is another one, the creator of Ebony and Jet, had to do the same thing when buying a building in Chicago, right? So what kind of trauma does that leave on a people, on a person, on anyone looking to better and improve their overall condition? Makes you think, right? Right. So again, I was thinking that wealth, money was the real reason or the real problem, the root of the problem for Black folks. It's not. I say it's our lack of culture. And when I say culture, culture is ambiguous. It means many, many different things. But I'd say it's our assimilation of Americanized culture and our adopting Americanized principles that don't necessarily work for us. Now, I'm sure somebody out there is going to say, well, we're all American and we all assimilate to Americanized stuff. That's true. But you can go back and do even more research. And when you look at certain things like the Irish or the Italians, how they stuck together, going against what's quote unquote called Americanized individualism. And by sticking together, they were able to forge a piece of the American dream for themselves. And so it's crazy. So Jack, the first three is called Black Fortunes. I thought I might have it here with me, but it's called Black Fortunes, and it's by a brother by the name of Camari Wills. I believe his name is Camari Wills. Read it. It's a great book. It's a great book. You can get it on Audible. It's an awesome book. I love reading about stories about Black entrepreneurs. One, because we never got to learn about any of this stuff when we were in school. And when you read that stuff, it just shows you, one, how much things haven't changed in this country as it relates to Black folks. All right. And two, it just shows the tenacity and the wisdom and the brilliance and genius that we as a people have. So go get that book. It's called Black Fortunes. A lot of them a lot of the stories actually come out of Philadelphia too, though. Some of my favorite stories are there's a gentleman by the name of Robert Smalls out of where is he from? I want to say it's Kansas City. I might be wrong, but it was somewhere in Missouri, but I want to say it was Kansas City. This man owned bars and pool halls. He shot the cops, got into a gunfight with the cops. But what's really interesting about him is that I believe it was Kansas City. Kansas City, I'm thinking now, it might have been Tennessee. It might have been Tennessee. I'm not sure though. Y'all read the book and y'all come back and tell me. But either way, he brought that city back from bankruptcy because he had amassed so much wealth. Right? Where do you ever hear a Black man bringing a major metropolis city in the United States back, from almost being bankrupt? You don't. So, a lot of times I feel us as Black folks, we have the wrong picture, the wrong context of who we are and whose we are as it relates to our genius. And so those books are important. Those books are super duper important. But listen, enough of me ranting, y'all. Enough of me ranting. Sylvia Hebron, how are you? What questions do y'all have? I'm supposed to be on here answering questions. So what questions y'all got? Thank you, Jody. Jody says great historical context. I appreciate that, Jody. Thank you. I am a nerd. I'm a historical nerd. I'm a financial nerd. I'm just a nerd all around. And so I love to come on here, talk with y'all, and hopefully encourage some of y'all to do some own research of your own and embrace your own inner financial nerdism. Because listen, here's the thing. 70% of the U.S. economy is made up of consumerism. What do they push on us every day? Consumerism. And that's shown by how many ads that we get shown every day. We get shown about 5,000 ads a day. In the 70s, it was about 500 ads. And now listen, the ad can be, when I say ad, I'm talking about ad impression, right? Or brand impression. So if you see let's use McDonald's, right? If I see a reference to McDonald's on the bus, on TV, on the billboard, on the bus stands, on the internet ads, those all count as impressions. So every time I see those impressions, they add up. So the average American citizen sees about 5,000 of those every day. So like I just said, consumerism accounts or personal spending accounts for about 70% of GDP, gross domestic product. Gross domestic product is the way you measure economy. But we make up about 70% of that by spending our money. But I know that you never get rich, you never get wealthy by just consuming. Now, we're all consumers, but if you never spend any of your time investing, developing, building, creating, you never have a chance to become wealthy. So a lot of times, a lot of us say we can only do it, or we can't do it because the 1% are the only ones. Well, there are some people in the 1% who didn't grow up with a silver spoon. And it's a known fact that most billionaires, right? Most millionaires actually are self-made. Now, I hate the term self-made, but I'm only using it here because it's an easy way to convey the idea. All right. So with that said, they created something, they built something, they did something. We can do the same thing. Black folks make the cool anyway. We make most of the cool stuff. When you go from blues to hip hop, let's keep it right, let's be accurate. From gospel to blues to jazz to rock and roll to hip hop, I think that's a great track record to show just how great we are. Stacy, how are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, Jazz. Okay, so Jazz says, or Jay Sharia Moore says, while we're talking history, how did you people in these days, early 1900s, etc., invest in the stock market before all the apps? Through going to the physical banks. Yes, well, going to the physical banks, actually going through the physical brokerages as well. I'm thinking about how easy it is to do these days, and just wondering what all they must have to go through. Yeah, it was work. It was real work, especially for Black folks. They tend to have to find a white person to go do their bidding for them. And let me be accurate. They tend to have to pay a Black person. The Black folks had a tendency to find a white person to do their bidding for them. By the way, did anybody see The Banker? Chime in on the chat. Did anybody see The Banker? And do you understand The Banker, that story in The Banker with Samuel Jackson and what's his name? He played in Avenger as well. I can't think of his name. Greg Thorne. What's up, man? How you been? Well, what other questions you got, Mr. Moore? All right, so Jody says she appreciates me. I appreciate you too, Jody. Thanks for being a great friend and great sister. Miss Edith says this Black History moment was awesome. I'm sorry for my rant, y'all. We make everything cool. Look at chitterlings. And we call them officially in the hood chitlins, but that's how it's spelled out. You can watch The Banker on Apple TV. Right. Tony Mackey, Anthony Mackey. Thank you. So it was Anthony Mackey and Samuel L. Jackson. That was a true story where two Black men had a white guy put in place as the patsy or the front man or the face to own these banks in Texas. Great story. Nia Long killed it as always, but yes, I have a crush on Nia Long. I don't expect nobody to be snitching here. Don't be telling my wife what I said. Don't get me in no trouble. But yeah, it was a great cast. It was a great story. I was really happy to see that story on the screen. It's a story that we should all see. It's a story that we should all share with our children. Matter of fact, now I'm thinking about it, I don't think I've watched that story with my teenagers. I'm definitely going to make them watch it as well. So, but what questions y'all got? All right, it is 8:38 p.m. on December 2nd, 2020. We about to go into 2021, y'all. Y'all ready for the new year? Y'all got your resolutions made out? Now, I'm not a big resolution fan. Most people break their resolutions. So do y'all have y'all new goals, new determinations, new visions, new missions in place? And y'all ready to take action? Well, tell me what's going on. What y'all got planned for 2021? And while we're at it, what questions do y'all have? Go ahead and throw them in the chat. Throw them in the chat, y'all. Creation, are you doing your nails? So Naisha is my my California hair plug, right? I'm gonna go out there and get my hair done, y'all. She gonna hook me up. Everybody getting these little lace fronts. I think I'm gonna get me something. All jokes, y'all. All jokes. If y'all see me walking around with a lace front, please slap me. Unless I'm in a movie or something. There's no way I would ever do that. No way, no how. But all right, what questions y'all got? What money questions y'all got? How am I marketing? I'm marketing right now, Jack, the first three. I mean, I do this anyway, right? I do this anyway, right? I'll talk about money all day long. I'll talk about history all day long, especially African and Black history all day long. This is a form of marketing. So teaching can be a form of marketing. Now, there are some people out there that do this, right? And they do it in a really spammy way. And many people that are doing this are not even qualified to do it. They didn't go to school for finance. They don't have any kind of track record. They're just out there selling just for the sake of selling. And I get it. I don't knock anybody's hustle, but I know throughout my years, I've made mistakes. And without guidance, those mistakes would have been a lot worse. And I see these people out here just giving out bad information left and right. And it's all to entertain. And listen, there's something to entertainment, right? But it's all to entertain. And it's all for them to make a buck. I'm not okay with just making a buck. There should always be some value. I don't want to just get on. I probably would never get on video, to be totally honest with y'all, if people didn't get some type of value from it. And every week people come back and they're happy with my performance. I think Naisha shares just about every post I put up on social media, and I'm thankful and I'm humbled for that, truly. So thank you, Naisha. Jay Cherie Amore shares just about everything I put up, or shares a lot of it. So that's a form of marketing right then and there. Free is a very powerful tool. I've had this conversation several times. I know a lot of times people say you shouldn't do anything for free. You got to get your value. Well, a lot of times when people don't have a portfolio, don't have a whole lot of experience, one of the best things they can do is volunteer, give away something for free. So, I encourage people to do things for free. Now, I'm not saying to throw away the baby with the bathwater. I'm not saying not to take care of your bills, but I'm also saying that you can do both. You can do good and do well at the same time, folks. I manage money. What's up, man? I ain't never seen you on air. How you been? Moy Ali 215. How you doing? I hope I said your name right. So what's up, Wendell? How you been, man? All right. So Jody says I share too. Yes, Jody, you share too, and I appreciate you too. You don't have to compete, Jody. It's not a competition. I'm just acknowledging as I go along, as I see the names pop up. Nothing personal. By the way, Jody has known me probably since I'm like 5 years old. So, she gets a little protective over me. I've seen her wanting to fight people sometimes over me. You would think she's my woman. But no, in all seriousness, Jody, yes, Jody supports, shares me all the time. And I appreciate you for that, Jody. I know it's not a competition. All right. So Naisha says, I think you can do things for free, but make sure it's a trade or beneficial to your life or business. Yeah. But so Naisha, I agree with you, but this is what I'll say. Is your neighbor's life not beneficial to you as well? Right. So if they need a cup of sugar or they need a cup of milk, would you not give it to them? Are you always expecting payment in return? If you're sitting out on your porch or your stoop and you made a jug of lemonade, would you not offer your neighbor some? Are you expecting payment from them? I mean, in my opinion, y'all, I think we got to get back to being neighbors, or at least neighborly. I think that goes a long way too. And I'm not talking about anything disingenuous. I'm not talking about just going along just to get along. Right. You would give it to them. I think some people value free information. You can see that by watching YouTube and the millions and millions of dollars some YouTubers make. We're not in the same paradigm we used to be. And so we were able to benefit from technology. But guess what? Free has been a tool used for good and bad for a long time. I'm not trying to throw shade at any of the Christians here in the building, but when you look at what missionaries did in Africa, it's a clear view of how free can be also dangerous. Just stating history, y'all. Don't get mad at me. The missionaries gave Africans blankets, gave them food, basketballs, the promise of God and everything else, and then the Africans lost their land. Go figure. All right. All right, so Naisha says, not payment if you can do something else and it doesn't have to be right away. Yeah, I mean, that's fair. And listen, I'm not saying that we shouldn't be after wealth. We shouldn't be after getting riches. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that we can do both. We can do good and do well at the same time. The system has programmed us to think that you can only do one. And I'm saying, no, that ain't true. That's not true at all. I mean, I saw somebody say this. I can't think who it is. They're like, what's the value of your mother, right? What's the ROI of your mother? Can you even fathom that? But, and yes, she's your mother, right? She's family, but she sowed all these things into you. So they were saying that for two reasons. One, you can't count value all the time, right? And there's just some things, some people, some institutions that always give some type of value, and you can't always kind of pay it back. Can't pay your mother back. Some of us can't pay our church back. Now, I ain't having a conversation about church tonight. There's some good churches and there's some bad churches. It's like there's some good pastors and bad pastors. I'm just saying that for the people that get value out of the church or out of your religious institution, and you've done it for a while, it's really hard to kind of pay it back, so to speak. All right. And that ain't an endorsement, nobody. All right. I'm not here for that smoke tonight. All right. Yes, Ms. Edith, the power of free. And I want to thank you too, Ms. Edith, for supporting me as well. So Ms. Edith says, in my neighborhood, we feed everyone. The power of free has been such a blessing. I find that so interesting, Ms. Edith, because me and Ms. Edith have had a whole conversation about the power of free. The power of free. I mean, I've kind of always been on that vibe, but I also had a mentor that taught me that giving equals receiving. Again, giving equals receiving to the 100 power. And I have seen that play out in my life and manifest in my life in so many different ways, forms, and fashion. So the more you share, the more you have. Yes, yes, yes. Think about it. If you know 100 millionaires, you'll never be broke. Depends on the quality of the millionaires, though. But yeah, I get your point. Yes. And I mean, it also gives me immense pleasure to help people that are worthy, though. I'm not going to say in front, like sometimes I don't get my bag and I look at the person a little weird. And it's like, I saw you take that change out of the gift box or the Salvation Army box. But, you know, at the end of the day, no judgment here. Yes, giving equals receiving. I mean, so I live that. So, hi, son.
Yeah.
How you doing? Want to get on camera with me?
No.
So my son always comes in here every Wednesday and empties the trash. So I tease him. A couple times I've had him on camera with me, but he doesn't like it. So Jody just put up on the screen one of my favorite words, STEWARDSHIP, stewardship. Stewardship is one of my favorite words. Yeah, I was trying to get a cameo. Yeah, stewardship is one of my favorite words. I think that's a word that needs to resonate throughout our community. Because if we really owned our communities, right? And I'm not talking about financially owned, but like really owned the place and space that we're in, keeping it clean, keeping it safe. I think we would see a big change in the mindset and of the area of the Black community. But we don't really own it. And again, I'm not talking about financially. I'm talking about like, hey, this is my block. This is my community. This is my city. This is where I live. This is where my family lives. This is where my children live. I want to see it clean. I want to see it safe. I want to see it prospering. I mean, once we have that, that's a mindset shift, y'all. That's not a money thing. It's a mindset shift. And that's why I said, you know, as I got older and had more interactions and saw more things, I realized that money wasn't really the crux of the problems in the Black community. I feel, again, culture is. And again, you know, some people don't like that because they say, well, we have culture here. It's not like everywhere else, but we have culture. Yes, we do. But I'm just saying that there are some things that we have inherited in our culture that don't belong here, and we need to get rid of it. So, Jack, the first three says we got to stop being stingy with information. Yeah, I'm not stingy with information. Pick me clean, whatever you got. They say if you really understand something, you teach it. Because I will tell y'all, teaching, whether it be in person, whether it be through internet on these lives, helps keep me sharper. So in a way, it's selfish for me, right? Because it makes me better. By the way, What is the one thing that most people are scared of, but probably can bring people immediate value right away? I'm doing it right now. What is that one thing? Can anybody tell me what that one thing is? Kelly, how you doing, Kelly? Kelly, is your live over? So Kelly's my sister, y'all. She does it live every week as well. Go check out Kelly's Closet. Kelly's Closet is the biggest plus size lingerie company in the United States, owned by a sister, owned by a Black woman, my sis. So yeah, go check her out, y'all. I'm asking for help. No, I'm not asking for help. I mean, listen, I'm not above asking for help. I'll ask for help. All right, so we got a couple on here. So Miss Edith says, home training and manners are a lost cause. Sharing. I'm giving y'all clues, y'all. I'm doing it right now. One thing that most people are scared of. How you doing, Lolo? I hope I'm not saying your name wrong. But thank you. Great job on doing. Thank you. Appreciate that. Happy Wednesday. So knowledge, nobody knows it. Bands up, how you doing? Now you don't have to correct the grammar here. I got you. Jack, the first three is the winner. Public speaking. I'm public speaking. I'm in my home office, but I'm still public speaking. I am speaking to the public. Anybody know any great wealthy people who are really, really bad speakers? There's a few. Miss Edith got it talking live presentations. So if I could talk to y'all here, some days I have 0 people on, some days I have hundreds on. It just depends. I mean, I have videos that have over 20,000. I think some are approaching like 30,000 views, right? So if I'm speaking, I'm developing my talent, or my skills it's not a talent. I don't consider myself a talented public speaker, but my skill of public speaking, right? And then I am then repurposing, and I'm putting these out, and people know I have skills when it comes to taxes, when it comes to investments. So I'm helping those who are in the audience right now. I'm usually solving a problem for people. So I'm working on my public speaking. I'm helping people solve a problem. I'm putting my stuff out on the internet, on the internet for everybody to find it, right? So that's marketing, right? Because Jack asked me, how am I marketing, right? That's marketing right there. Every now and again, I'll throw some ad money behind some of the things that people found really valuable behind, or found value in, and that gets going, right? So, and then what happens? Hey, I have tax problems. Let me call Camari. I got investment questions. Let me call Camari. Now, I'm not actively taking any investment clients right now because I don't have all my licensures, because I let them all go, right? But you never know. I might come back. All right, so Kelly says Russell Simmons is an example of people that can't publicly speak. I think Russell Simmons is a pretty good public speaker. He's not the greatest, not by far, but I've gotten some value out of Russell. Russell kind of turned me on to meditation. So I'm forever grateful for that. Mike Tyson. No, Mike Tyson isn't a good speaker, but I appreciate Mike. I'm always going to love Mike just because of his raw tenacity and talent. So, all right. So Bands Up says, I want to report self-employed to help me purchase a home. Do you have any advice on that? Yeah, I got mad videos on it on YouTube, Bands Up. But and also, well, seriousness, and for right now, yes, if you are legitimately in business, you should report your income from your business. I don't know what your business is. Hopefully it's a profitable business, right? You want to fill out the forms. If you are just in business for yourself, you want to do your personal tax reform, which is a 1040 and a Schedule C. If you have an LLC and it's just you, 9 times out of 10, you're still filling out your personal form and your Schedule C. I'm trying to think, make sure you do a good job documenting your expenses, making sure you do a good job of documenting what money you make as well, because all of that goes into the mix when you send your reports into the IRS. All right. If you need any other help, just inbox me or send me a DM. All right. Listen, if any of y'all want to stay in contact with me outside of the socials, right? Outside of the live streams, do me a favor, send me a text at 215-974-0058. Again, 215. Wow, keep belching, excuse me. 215-974-0058. 215-904-0058. So Jack, talking about marketing, right? I want to bring people into my community and not just have them on these social media control platforms by Zuckerberg, because those folks are controlling everything. So I want to be able to talk to my folks. So text me at 215-974-0058. I'm behind the Texas. You can communicate with me there. You can ask me questions there. We're going to start moving to taking all the questions through text because I can't keep up with questions on Facebook. So people who are tweeting me, people who are Facebooking me, people who are Instagramming me, or DMing me. So it's getting a little hard. But bands, yeah. Again, you can text me at 215-974-0058. All right. So Jack, the first three says, Russ and Mike aren't afraid to speak though. Right. That is correct. And that is the big point. They're not afraid to speak. And most people are afraid to speak. And there are a lot of gifted, talented people who are afraid to speak. So just imagine, right? But just imagine some of the people that are most pure, that are the salt of the earth, oftentimes are very humble. Now, I don't really want to get into the conversation about humble, what they say in the Bible, about what the actual definition is. But what I'll say is that people oftentimes are afraid. They're oftentimes afraid to speak their mind. And you know the saying, you have not because you ask not. Again, you have not because you ask not. A closed mouth don't get fed. So if you can't even do that, how are you really going to be effective in creating wealth? I mean, again, we always talk about getting to the bag and doing these things, but we don't talk about the basics. Can you talk? Can you talk? Can you speak? Are you working on it? You know, AC Trey 37, how are you? But, you know, if you can speak, you could always say, hey, I have these skills. Will you give me a job? Jasmine, matter of fact, J. Sharia Moore is a career coach. She helps people curate their or improve their resumes and do all those kind of things. She's been on. I've interviewed her. She speaks very well. She can communicate her value. The better you can communicate your value, the quicker you can monetize your value. All right. So, I mean, just think about that. All right. So the thing about finance, like many things with our people, we don't discuss it enough at our family gatherings and our dinner tables. Exactly. So, Jack, I'll kind of give you a little bit more insight into me and my evolution. I started doing presentations with a lot of kids, schools and camps and things like that. Then I had the opportunity to be a co-host on a radio show here in Philly on 900 AM WURD. Shout out to Dr. Lomax. Dr. Lomax, another great Black man who helped create and sustain a platform for Black people to communicate on. But I had a show on there for about a year and a half. I was scared as hell when I used to do radio because I was always worried that I was going to botch up something. I was going to stutter. Sometimes I would literally sit in my chair and shake. But I got the hang of it. Didn't like video at all. But here we are now doing video. But that helped me see that I could help reach people, right? I could engage with people. Because I really love the engagement with y'all. I love to talk to y'all or with y'all, not to y'all. I love to talk with y'all. I want to answer your questions. I mean, I think it's kind of boring for me to just sit here and ramble on and rant on. Some people love it, but me personally, in my heart, I would rather help solve your question or solve your issue. And I figured out radio was a great medium for that. And then at the same time, social media was starting to pop up. And as social started to pop, we were seeing things like Arab Spring. And it's like, and if y'all don't remember what Arab Spring was, that was basically all the Arabs in North Africa taking over a lot of the countries and the governments there. And they're coordinating on Twitter. And they're coordinating on Facebook and on social media. And I just look at that and I'm like, wow, that's powerful. And then along came this young lady by the name of Nicole Newman who tricked me into getting on Facebook because I was already on LinkedIn, but LinkedIn was boring, right? Still kind of slow, kind of shy. But she tricked me to get on Facebook because there was a picture with me, her. Oh, It was a picture with me, her, and Serena Thomas, right? I just interviewed her last week about government contracting. If y'all haven't listened to that podcast, listen to that podcast with that, because that podcast can really get some folks to the money. You got to do some work. It's not an overnight get rich quick thing, but you can get to some money. But at any rate, Nicole tricked me to get on to Facebook. And then I'm like overwhelmed. I'm seeing people I haven't seen since kindergarten or kindergarten, if I'm saying it wrong. I'm seeing people from high school. I'm seeing people from college. I'm seeing people that I used to work with. And then it's like, wow. So I'm seeing radio, and then I'm having social media, and they're all kind of colliding at the same time. And I'm just like, look at all the possibilities. And from there, I started giving, created some groups with some partners, did some things. I did some cash mobs. If y'all don't know what a cash mob is, I was one of the first Black folks in Philly, along with a team of people doing cash mobs. What the cash mob is basically, you get 20 people together, you go to a store, y'all each spend $20. That's roughly $400. And from there, you know, I got featured in the paper. I get interviewed all the time, and I just discovered that I like to teach. And I kind of already knew that, but really was behind the teachings. I like to help. So I found it through radio and through social, and then here I am now. But with all that being said, again, it's still me communicating, right? And I kind of learned how to do that. Yes, Jay Sharia Moore, I thought about doing some online cash mobs. I'm gonna tell y'all what I hate doing, what I need help with. I hate organizing events. They drive me crazy. I've done them. They've come out well. It is not my genius. It is not my, it's not what I'm great at all. But I've talked about doing some. But I'm always referring people to somewhere, somebody, somehow. A lot of people contact me just to find good Black businesses. It still boggles my mind that we had this problem finding good Black businesses. We never have a problem finding quote unquote good or bad or terrible white businesses or Asian businesses, but we always have a problem finding good Black businesses. But nonetheless, it is what it is. But I just find that interesting. But like I was saying, you know, I use all those things to help me develop into speaking more confidently, not being scared to get up on a stage and speak. And basically you're just having a conversation with a group of people that you don't know, or doing a webinar that you don't know. So with all that said, learn how to communicate better, y'all. And then do something that you're afraid of. Because on the other side of fear, usually is success, or it usually helps you get closer to the fear. So Don Johnson asked me, when is the Black Wealth Project merch coming? It's coming now. We got some designs in the works. It'll be here real quick. So Don, I'm gonna ask you to help me spread the word once we get it out, so we can do some things. So Jay Sharia Moore, you said we should do some online cash mobs. I'm thinking about changing the name from Cash Mob to Black Moms or Black House or something. But what do y'all think? Because somebody else came up with that. But so since you said we, you gonna help me? You gonna help me get the word out? You gonna help me organize them? Jack the First Three says, I'd like to start a firm to rate the legitimacy of these so-called gurus. Only problem with that is they ain't gonna come see you until they done got ripped off. Harper State, how are you? Welcome. Big Bear _79 or Big Bear 79, how are you? Jay Nice World, how are you? I'm leaning in close because I ain't got my glasses on, y'all. All right, so what we got going on over here on Facebook and YouTube? So Miss Edith says, public speaking is a class in independent schools in Manhattan. I would say we are always told to be quiet. We don't usually have the gift. I like that people do pitch events. It forces you to speak. So I think we do have the gift. I'm going to tell you we got the gift. You talking about Manhattan and the Puffy has a school up there. I'm not going to say Puffy's the greatest public speaker, but Puffy's not afraid to speak. And clearly he has a gift, right? You could argue what his gift is, but he has a gift for something. All right. Ms. Edith also says the venues we had to talk publicly were removed from our access residing in church, plays in schools, at the school programs, and talent shows, for example. Yeah, I mean, those are all fine. But what about a debate club or debate team? I would love to see that. I almost failed global studies in 8th grade. Fear of speaking in front of my class. Fear of making a mistake. I passed my class. I put fear in my back pocket. Congrats. That's what you're supposed to do. Put fear in your back pocket and put it away. Oh, man. Linden, USA, Mr. Robert Lewis. That's my man right there. Robert heard that I had a public tragedy, and I didn't even ask for it. And Robert sent me a couple of shekels. I appreciate you, brother. Shout outs to you. Y'all know Robert because Robert always comes on my show. He is our resident mortgage agent or mortgage lender, and he's always here to help as well. Mr. Robert has a very giving spirit as well, teaching spirit also. All right, so I answered your question, Don. Yeah, chess club. Yeah, I did chess club. Yep. You know, I asked the question. I said, what if we had like math and science? What if we had math, science, chess? What if we had math, science, chess, and debate leagues like we do football, basketball, and baseball? What would that look like? I know I'm touching some toes. And listen, by the way, physicality can be genius. Muhammad Ali was a genius, right? Mike Tyson's a genius. Magic Johnson's a genius. Just because you play a sport doesn't make you a dumb jock per se, right? And oftentimes those people that can excel at a sport and at academia are on a whole other level. And there's a lot of people like that. So when I say, what if we had a league that had public speaking and chess and debate and math and science leagues, I'm saying, how can we get to a more equal and level playing field, right? How can we spread it out? How can we be a bit more diverse? Not to put down sports and athletics because they are immensely important. We can see that just by the obesity rates, right? We need more people moving. We need more people doing things, all right? Debate clubs are limited to the neighborhood school you live in. Yeah, but I'll say debate club would probably be one of those things that really could help us as a community because oftentimes in our community, we have conflict resolutions. We don't have conflict resolution skills, right? We are poor at our conflict resolution. So those are things that I think that can help us go a long way. Jody, you hate public speaking, but you're a poet. Help me out. I don't get it. I've seen you perform in front of hundreds of people. Matter of fact, not only is Jody a poet, she's also a playwright, and she's also written movies. So I've seen Jody perform poems in front of people, not one, not two, just me, you, and our crew, but a bunch of folks. I don't understand. Jody. The math's not adding up. Help me out. Help me understand. All right. We grew up playing chess. Yes. I believe there are chess leagues. Yeah, there are. I know there's a tag. I follow these brothers on Instagram. I can't think of the name, but they do a great job and they got a chess league going all the time. Miss Edith says staff volunteering for those classes. The public education system usually doesn't have the funds for those programs. My daughter was in a debate club. It was awesome. Yeah, I think it is awesome. I think we also have to stop relying on government to solve all our problems. I mean, can we pass the hat? Can we all send $5 to our local baseball team, our local chess team, our local science and math team? Can we do those things? I mean, I think it could be done. KP Uncut, how are you? All right. Jay Cherie says partnership and collaboration. Yes, I am good at event planning. Oh, you got the job. All right. Somebody just sent me a Cash App. I hope it wasn't because of what I said about Robert, but thank you anyway. Thank you. Wait, what? What's the cash mob for? All right. So Jack, the first three, the cash mob is for, and I'm actually really proud of the cash mob because there was one cash mob. I got cited in the Philadelphia Inquirer for helping a Black-owned bookstore stay in business by the name of Hakeem's. So Hakeem's is on 52nd Street here in Philadelphia in West Philly, and we helped them stay in business. It was started by a father back in the 60s, and the daughter and the granddaughter are keeping it alive today. So a cash mob is you get 20 people. Y'all all go to the store or a Black business. Now, originally it wasn't a black business. All mine are at black businesses, right? So you get 20 people, they all spend $20, right? That's $400 at a black owned business. Get them together. It's a great cash infusion to the business. I mean, $400 isn't a whole lot of money, but it's good money. Plus, you just got at minimum 20 new ambassadors for your business. 20 new ambassadors for your business. As a matter of fact, shout out to Jody, right? Because Jody used to help me do a lot of this stuff. She says she misses cash mobs. So cash mobs, we did trips to marches. We did a lot of stuff. But yes, Hakeem's. Yes, Miss Yvonne. Yes. Shout out to Miss Yvonne. Shout out to Hakeem's bookstore. That's awesome. They do that in NYC, the bar crawls. Yes, they do it in New York. I was doing it before them. But yo, the Kwanzaa bar crawls in New York, I want to go to one because they look fun. I know they do one in Harlem. I know they do one in Brooklyn. That's all I know about. I know it's growing every year. And sadly, with the Rona, it's hard for anybody to do anything these days that involves large gatherings. But it was still dope. And it's what we need. We need more creativity. We need more unity. And we need more conflict resolution, right? Because a lot of us, me included in this, right? I'm not going to work with certain people if I feel they're not integral. If they show me they're not integral, I'm not going to work with them. I'm not going to dog them out in public, but I'm not going to work with them. And then trust and believe there is something that they did, I seen, and I witnessed myself that was unintegral, and I refuse to work with them. So, what's up, Chad? Chad Yahuru. I don't know how to say the first part. Is it Jumanji? Jumanji, Chad Yahuru. So we know what Yahuru is. It's freedom, y'all. Freedom in Swahili. MG Rang, how are you? So Creations by Nisha says, yes, I need to be more creative. You are the embodiment of creation. You are in that hair every day. In that kitchen every day. The hair kitchen, that is. If y'all don't understand that, that's an old school term. Not sure if that's still around. But doing hair, that's art. It might not be perceived as art by some, but it's art. It's definitely an artistic leaning type profession. Yes, so they had a Kwanzaa bar crawl, Jody. Yes. It was dope. So I'm mad I haven't gotten to one. You know, I would love to do one here in Philly, but I don't feel that Philly has enough black-owned bars. I know of one, Blue and Shoes, actually owned by my childhood friend Tracy Hardy, but I struggle to name others. I'm sure there are some other bars. I know there's some other black-owned bars, but to have like an actual Kwanzaa crawl, I don't know. Yep, BK and bar crawls. Yep, BK and Harlem bar crawls, right? When you go up to the 125th Street in Harlem, like right around the corner from the Apollo, there's a bunch of black-owned like lounges and bars and establishments and all that. We don't have that. But, you know, New York is a whole other beast in and of itself. So what? There's a guild. Really? Okay. All right. I'm going to restrict my commentary now. I ain't getting in trouble. All right. So Nisha says yes to perfect some things. Yeah. I'll say this too, though, Nisha. You also have to, there's a balance to everything too. Right? So sometimes we get so caught up in perfectionism that we never get to the doingism. And so that's very, very important. All right. So Jay Sharia Moore says, question. One thing do you suggest we do this last month to set up to start 2021 off in a good place financially, from beginners to experts? Well, that's easy. So the one thing that I see, and this isn't sexy, y'all, but it's efficient, it's effective. I think we should be saving more. All of us. I mean, a lot of us think savings isn't sexy. We have these bank accounts that are paying like 0.00001%. So it's like nothing. A lot of us are running to the stock market, but we haven't done first things first. We haven't covered ourselves and protected ourselves to be able to take advantage of opportunities as they come along and handle and persevere over emergencies as they come along. So that's very, very important, right? And then the other thing I would say is starting off this year and going into 2021, we need more unity. We need more collectivism. We need more cooperative economics. So I would say find 3 people, a minimum of 3 people, and find 3 people you can start to either invest in or just save money with together, right? And then have plans to either invest that money, let's say in the stock market, into real estate, into a business, something to help you do better. One of those. Azi Renee, how are you? Welcome. Yeah, well, I can't take credit for that. These 1217, how are you? I think I'm saying it right. I hope I'm not jacking up your name. Correct me if I am wrong. I do have a thing for saying people's names wrong because people butchered my name so bad coming up. But yes, because you taught us cash is king. Okay, I'll take that. That's not mine, though. That's an old finance axiom. That's an old financial rule. Cash is king. Why? Because you need cash for everything. Even when you see these people out here saying that credit is more important than cash. Well, tell me this. If you don't have cash, how do you keep good credit? Just tell me that, folks. A lot of these credit people are saying that credit is king and cash is queen. I say cash is king and credit is queen. Together, both of them can create a mighty empire, right? But again, if you don't have cash, how do you keep good credit? I'm really interested. I've been asking people this question. Nobody can give me the answer. Do y'all know the answer? Do you know anybody that knows the answer? I would like to know if somebody can answer that question for me. If you don't have cash, how do you keep good credit? But it's just a thought, y'all. Just a thought. So help me out. All right, y'all. It is 9:16. I promised y'all I was only going to stay on for about an hour and 16 minutes. As we get closer to the end of the year, I want y'all to think about how we can start working together with our fellow brothers and sisters. And I want to say this as an aside. You don't just have to work with people just because they're Black, right? Sadly, I would like that to be the thing, but it's not. You got to work with people who actually believe in working with you, that believe in you, that want to see you do well, and that are not just only here for their own personal come up. However, we can find them. You got to find your tribe. All right. So today, begin to find your tribe. Today, begin to figure out how you can build with your tribe. Because again, wealth is a team sport. It's a group activity. It is not just about the individual. It's about the group. So find those that you can sow into and that will sow into you, that will sow a good word, that will sow a good deed, and will sow a good dollar if need be. All right. And so as y'all do that, we coming into 2021, we got to do things better. We got to do things faster, but safer, right? So we never want to compromise speed for safety. All right. It's just like driving a car super duper fast and you can't control it and then you crash and you run into a wall. Well, had you just done the speed limit, you would have got to your destination just fine. You would have got there just fine. All right. K Landers 251. How you doing? Welcome. The key through all that is just staying steady, right? Even if you're moving slow, as long as you're making progress, it's still progress. All right. Sometimes we get caught up and we want to go super duper fast. And again, you can crash into the wall a lot of times because you can lose control when you go too fast. And that's in everything. That's in our romantic relationships. Right? Romantic relationships are the key to wealth, are the key to Black wealth. If we ain't got Black families, y'all, we ain't gonna have Black wealth. All right. And that's, again, for business relationships, any kind of relationship. They're all relationships. I want y'all, if y'all don't get nothing else, all relationships matter, right? But the good relationships can get the most focus. All right. So listen, y'all, I appreciate y'all being here with me, hanging out with me, chopping it up with me. One thing I want to do is I want to do kind of like an open house, right? Where we all come in and we have these conversations. I'm going to be moderating, so you can't just and run your mouth and talk over people. But I want to have a real village conversation, and the technology is here to do that. So listen, if you're interested in doing that, text me at 215-974-0058. Text village to 974-0058 if you are interested in coming in. And we kind of do a village conversation because, I don't just want to talk. I want us all to be able to kind of share the knowledge, share the wisdom, even share the money sometimes, y'all. All right, but we got to start somewhere. And these true wealth building things, they all start with what? Communication, a conversation, right? So we got to get to know each other, y'all. We got to get a little bit familiar, all right? But again, this ain't a get rich quick scheme. So that's not what I'm here for. I'm just talking about some conversation, maybe over some coffee, all right? So listen, y'all, do me a favor. If y'all have not yet listened to the Finance Rebel podcast or the Finance Rebel show, go on over to iTunes, Spotify, Google, or Stitcher. Just look up the Finance Rebel show, search it out, give it a listen. And then once you listen, leave a rating. And then once you leave a rating, leave a review. All right. So I appreciate that. All right, everybody. Everybody have a great night, a great week, and hopefully some great days coming ahead. All right. So I will see y'all soon. Stay wealthy, stay prosperous, and stay blessed. Everybody have a great night. I'll see y'all soon. Bye-bye.